After being condemned online for plagiarism, I publicly announced that I would stop writing. My boyfriend, who had just been angrily accusing me, froze. "What are you doing? Don't you still have a lot of debt to pay off?" His first love, the so-called victim of the plagiarism scandal, also panicked. "Viola, you don't have to punish yourself like this. I'm willing to give you a chance to start over." I stared at the sea of flashing cameras below the stage, my face unwavering. In my last life, the two of them humiliated me while working together to steal my work. In the end, the novel I poured my heart into made Tiffany a literary sensation. This time around, I deleted the pen name I'd used for 6 years. I was done living in cramped apartments. It was time to go home and claim my inheritance. As for Tiffany, let's see how you plan to finish the rest of that story. Miss Viola, you claim you have proof to clear your name, so where is it? As someone who used to admire your writing, I don't want to believe you'd do something like this. Did you really write all your past works yourself? Dozens of microphones were shoved toward me. I froze, then my heart began to pound violently. I had come back. Back to the very press conference where I tried to prove my innocence. In my previous life, my boyfriend's first love stole my novel, which was based on my own secret crush. The book shot to the top of the site's bestseller list on the day of its release and became a youth romance phenomenon. After it was promoted by dozens of marketing accounts, readers everywhere called it deeply moving. I had planned to use my drafts as evidence. But on the day of the press conference, someone wiped my files clean. There wasn't a single trace left. I became the target of brutal online attacks, receiving funeral wreaths, black and white photos, and horrifying packages daily. I kept writing through gritted teeth, but in the end, a deranged fan found me and stabbed me to death. Now, I had only hesitated for a second before my boyfriend of 3 years, Enoch, lashed out. "Viola, if Tiffany's slandering you, then show us the proof. Don't just throw accusations around." He glared at me in anger, but I caught the flash of satisfaction in his eyes. Of course, how could he not know what was in my folders? All he wanted was for my reputation to be destroyed, so Tiffany could rise as the next big star. I lowered my eyes, picked up my laptop, and walked to the projector. I turned it on and connected it to the screen. In the next second, as everyone stared in disbelief, I deleted the pen name I had used for 6 years. Enoch and Tiffany immediately stood up. I spoke coldly, "Everyone, I have been wrongfully accused. The evidence has been destroyed by someone with ulterior motives, leaving me no way to defend myself. As of today, this pen name is no more. I am quitting the industry and will no longer be part of the online fiction world." With those words, I grabbed my laptop and turned to leave. Enoch rushed in front of me, blocking my path. "What are you doing? Didn't you say you still had a mountain of debt to pay off? You think you can just stop writing like that? I thought writing was your biggest dream." Tiffany, panicked, came over, tears welling in her eyes. "Viola, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. I'm willing to give you a fresh start." I scoffed as I watched the two of them put on their act. The next second, Tiffany bit her lip and dropped to her knees in front of me. "Viola, please, don't quit over something this small. Your readers will come after me. I'll delete everything. We can pretend none of this ever happened. If you quit, I'll be finished too. I'll stop writing too." The sound of shutters clicking echoed as cameras turned to her. My former star editor walked over, unable to stay quiet any longer. "Tiffany, what are you saying? Why are you begging a plagiarist? She brought this on herself. Don't forget, you just signed a contract with the company, you still have work to do." I was done taking all this abuse. I left the scene. To avoid being swarmed by reporters, I took the side path and left through the back door to catch a cab back to my apartment. On the way back, my Twitter notifications wouldn't stop popping up. When I opened the app, I saw that 4 of the top 10 trending topics were about me. Hashtag Viola plagiarist. Hashtag Viola and Tiffany. Hashtag Tiffany forced to kneel. Hashtag Tiffany ghostwriter. Heartless marketing accounts were denying everything I'd ever written, claiming I'd stolen Tiffany's ideas and forced her to be my ghostwriter. My Weibo comments were flooded with hate. Gross. I can't believe I used to follow a plagiarist. I watched the live press conference. Viola didn't dare say a word. She even forced Tiffany to kneel. At least you had the decency to quit. Otherwise, we would have destroyed you. Even her own boyfriend turned on her. Viola, what the hell were you thinking? She probably just made enough money and ran. I hope Tiffany sues her into the ground. My comment section was full of filth. Meanwhile, Tiffany's follower count kept climbing, and her comment section was filled with support and encouragement. I left one comment. Well then, I hope you can keep updating daily and finish the second half. Don't let your readers down. I knew I didn't have many backup drafts left. Tiffany had been too impatient, afraid I hadn't stockpiled enough chapters, so she struck first. But all the setups and Easter eggs I'd planned ahead, she wouldn't know how to wrap them up. It was only a matter of time before she was exposed. I returned to my apartment. A modest 90 square meter place, cozy and warm the way I decorated it. The old wall was covered in heart-shaped photo collages. Pictures of me and Enoch. But every single one was secretly taken by me and developed later. He had never once agreed to a photo together. He refused to post me on his socials. He would even disappear around anniversaries, giving me the cold shoulder. All these years, I paid the rent and utilities. I also covered most of our meals, shopping, and outings. I immediately broke the lease with my landlord, knowing I'd have to pay a penalty fee. I tossed what needed to be thrown out and quickly packed the rest. While I was in the middle of it, someone knocked on the door. When I opened it, Enoch and Tiffany were standing there. Viola, are you moving out? Tiffany stepped inside and grabbed my hand with fake concern. I coldly pulled my hand away. Enoch looked at me with disdain written all over his face. Moving out? As far as I know, her dad passed away years ago, and all these years she's been paying off his medical debts with her writing. She used to freak out over this place costing $2,000 a month. If she's moving, it can only be to some rundown dump. I stared at him blankly. What do you want? Enoch sneered. Apologize to Tiffany. Admit publicly that you plagiarized. My eye twitched. Was that even something a human being could say? I glared at him in fury. Enoch, don't you know the truth? After all these years of you living off me, how dare you say something like that? Enoch's face remained cold and unshaken as he spoke with absolute confidence. You're just a penniless orphan with no job, while Tiffany's been treated like a princess her whole life. I'll do anything to help her get what she wants. Did you even know? Her parents are both high school teachers. In every possible way, she's 100 times better than you. The man I'd dated since college was now throwing the cruelest words at me. All he knew was that I came from a single-parent household, that I had moved out due to disagreements with my mother. He had no idea that my mother was the Asia-Pacific regional head of a multinational conglomerate. And that when my father passed, he left us a 9-figure inheritance. The truth is, if I hadn't chosen to avoid inheriting the family business by staying here, I would have been someone far out of Enoch's league. Seeing me stay silent, Enoch thought his words had hit the mark. He sneered and continued. Some people are born princesses, and some people, no matter how hard they try, are nothing but low-life nobodies. If I were you, I'd leave right now with my tail between my legs, and leave everything here to Tiffany. What are you waiting for? Go online and apologize to Tiffany publicly. Otherwise, don't blame me for what comes next. But before he could finish, I raised my hand and slapped Enoch across the face. I hit him so hard his head jerked sideways. His eyes widened instantly, blood vessels bursting in the whites of his eyes. Viola, did you seriously just hit me? Tiffany screamed, taking 2 steps back as she pulled out her phone to record. But I smacked the phone right out of her hand and swung my suitcase, knocking both of them aside. I unleashed all my fury, smashing everything in sight. I didn't care anymore, I wasn't taking any of it with me. You like my stuff so much? Fine. It's all yours. The place was in total chaos, shattered pieces everywhere. I yanked open the door and stormed out of the tiny apartment I had lived in for 3 years. I called my mom. We hadn't spoken in years, but the moment I dialed, she picked up instantly. Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. In my last life, I had left home after college in a fit of anger, and died without ever speaking to my mom again. I couldn't imagine the pain she must have felt after hearing about my death. This time, all I wanted was to be her spoiled little girl. Just come home. Come home. My mom's voice trembled. In the end, that was all she could repeat. Soon, I was on a flight back to S City. Before boarding, I checked Twitter and saw another fake, pretentious post from Tiffany. Sorry everyone, I'm going on a short break. The recent events have been overwhelming. Viola has always been a writer I looked up to. I need time to recover. And my former editor Wallace, who used to treat me with so much care, had already retweeted it. Dear readers, please give Tiffany some space to produce her best work. We'll be holding a fan event in S City next month, hope to see you all there. It was obvious they were trying to make Tiffany the next viral author. I sighed, turned off my phone, and fell into a deep sleep. By the time I landed, my mom was already waiting with a chauffeur and bodyguards in a Rolls-Royce. She said she'd heard everything, had already called in PR contacts, and was speaking to lawyers about pressing charges. We're going to fight this all the way. No one gets to hurt my precious daughter. I lay in her arms as she gently rubbed my back, her chin resting softly on my forehead. The car was stocked with gourmet food and my favorite drinks from the past. The moment she got my call, she had started preparing in case I was hungry. I hugged her tight. Don't worry, Mom. No need to go through all that trouble. I smiled and said, the real plagiarist is about to get what she deserves. Moving back into our mansion felt like pure bliss. No more waking up early to cook 3 meals a day, no more doing laundry myself. My bank account was full of endless zeros, I no longer had to worry about rent or monthly bills. My mom even set up a private study for me. The walls were lined with books, and the latest high-end computer was there for me to do whatever I wanted. Every morning I soaked up sunlight by the floor-to-ceiling windows, did some yoga and skincare, then enjoyed gourmet lunches. Afternoons were for shopping, tea, and lessons in horseback riding, yoga, and golf. At night, a glass of red wine, a soak in the spacious tub, and falling asleep to music played by a professional tuner my mom had hired just for me. Both my physical and mental health improved drastically, I was living on a whole new level. Meanwhile, Tiffany's long absence from publishing started to spark complaints online. People began to question her. Can Tiffany even write on her own? What if Viola was telling the truth all along? Why disappear at the peak of her popularity? No professionalism at all. Are you messing with your readers? Give us refunds. Tiffany started to panic. I knew her too well. Pretty since she was a kid, pampered by men, but lacking any real talent. Asking her to write even a few lines was like torture. And my story had come from my real-life experiences, about unrequited love for a boy I could never have. Even if Enoch knew parts of it, all he could do was tell Tiffany fragments. Under pressure, Tiffany finally forced herself to write a chapter with Enoch's help. But the massive drop in views and brutal backlash made her delete it immediately. So she went online and played the pity card, claiming she was sick and had undergone surgery, saying she was physically and mentally exhausted. Still, she promised to present a satisfying piece of work at the upcoming fan event. That day, while I was out shopping, trying to decide which bag to match with my new outfit, I got a message from Wallace, the editor. Viola, I heard you're in S City. I'm here on a business trip too. Let's talk. There might have been some things I misunderstood about you. My heart skipped a beat. I thought this meeting would finally clear my name. But to my surprise, Wallace had come to persuade me to help Tiffany finish the book. At the cafe, Wallace eyed my designer outfit and let out a mocking laugh. Name your price, Viola. I know you're in a tight financial spot, how much will it take for you to start writing again? Tiffany is the face of our site now. She's brought in massive profits. We have to keep her at all costs. The silence between us stretched into what felt like a century. Your pen name has been deleted. Your readers are gone. And don't forget, the only reason you gained popularity back then was because we invested in you. Wallace pushed her coffee aside and leaned in. 500,000, that should be enough to swap out your fake outfit for the real deal, and help you continue whatever it is you're trying to do. The look in her eyes made my expression turn ice cold. What kind of person did she think I was? What did she think I was doing here in S City? Fine, I gritted out. No problem. I've had the outline ready for a while now. I'll finish the remaining 100,000 words in 3 days. Wallace jumped up in excitement. Great. Then it's settled. I'll wait for you right here in 3 days. I grabbed my bag and left without looking back. Once I got home, I opened my laptop and started writing based on the rough outline I had in my notebook. Maybe it was the rest I'd had recently, but my mind was sharp and my inspiration flowing. 3 days later, I handed her the manuscript, dark circles under my eyes. Wallace was overjoyed, though she still insisted on reviewing the manuscript in front of me. Only after confirming everything looked good did she breathe a sigh of relief, transfer the $500,000 to me on the spot, and have me sign an NDA. But what Wallace didn't know was, once those chapters were uploaded, the format would no longer be the same. Somewhere in the middle, a series of first letters would spell out a message. Tiffany is the real plagiarist. Tiffany, with the new chapters in hand, was like a woman reborn. She even clapped back at the haters online. She posted a screenshot of the word count and ranted, "I refuse to rush my work just for views. I strive for quality, something I can be proud of." Her bold statement won her even more praise, and the comments were all overwhelmingly supportive. As I scrolled through them, one username caught my eye, "Only for Tiffany." His profile was filled with Tiffany-related posts. It documented years of bus tickets, and pages upon pages of carefully observed notes about her preferences. From the details, I realized, it was Enoch. That's when I finally understood. Back in college, when he confessed to me, it was just to provoke Tiffany. Soon, the day of Tiffany's fan event arrived. She had promised to upload the rest of the book live, so readers could binge the ending all at once. It was too tempting. On the day of the event, the venue was packed wall to wall. Any outsider might have thought a major celebrity was in town. Fans waved handmade merch signs and screamed at the top of their lungs. When fans asked her questions, Tiffany repeated the answers Enoch had coached her with. He was amazing. After graduation, he went abroad. He was the light of my youth. I used to walk past his classroom on purpose after school. He'd always be chatting with someone in the hallway. My favorite time was when he was on the field during break. I could get closer without being obvious. I was so shy back then I couldn't even look up. I tried to act all cold. Haha, I bet he still doesn't know I had a crush on him. She played the part perfectly, just like a schoolgirl recalling her long-lost love. Sometimes, her eyes would drop and her voice would quiver, as if reliving those bittersweet memories. Finally, the most exciting moment came. The big screen displayed the final chapters of her book. It was the long-awaited conclusion. Fans whipped out their phones to tip and leave glowing reviews. The crowd was full of gasps and sniffles. Everyone agreed the ending was even more moving than the beginning. Some were already crying. Until, someone noticed something strange. Wait. What's with chapter 98, page 3? Why do the first few lines spell out, "Tiffany is the real plagiarist"? The whole room erupted. Someone shouted, "Oh my God, it's true." I was wondering why there was suddenly a character named Toby. Could it be the real author is someone else? This is insane. Is it some kind of ghostwriting conspiracy? Has she been lying to us all along? The venue descended into chaos. Staff scrambled to take down the new chapters, but many had already seen them. Fans were furious, demanding Tiffany give them an explanation. She reacted quickly. "This is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. This is my original work. Someone tampered with my file. Who touched my computer? It wasn't like this before." But someone immediately called her out. "Who could have touched your computer? Don't you carry it with you at all times? Bit too convenient, don't you think? If you're really the author, write a bonus chapter on the spot. If the writing style and plot match, we'll believe you." Exactly. Come on, prove it. Didn't you promise to give back to the readers? A bonus chapter shouldn't be too hard, right? Surrounded by dozens of microphones, Tiffany clutched her chest like she was having a heart attack. She gasped a few times, then collapsed dramatically. The place turned into complete chaos. Some fans stormed the stage, demanding the deleted chapters be restored. Enoch rushed out from the crowd and scooped her up in his arms, screaming for a doctor. As he barreled out of the hall, he brushed past me, standing calmly at the edge of the crowd. By now the scene was so wild that everyone had rushed the stage to confirm what they saw on the screen. No one even noticed Tiffany anymore. "Viola, you actually have the nerve to show up here? This is all you're doing?" Enoch's face was twisted with rage. His glare was murderous.
You're listening to Love Short Story, a YouTube channel dedicated to captivating short stories. Let's continue.
You're just jealous that Tiffany has my love, you've always hated her. But this? This is low, even for you. You just couldn't stand to see her succeed, so you tried to destroy her. You bitch, mark my words, if something happens to Tiffany today, I swear I'll make you pay with your life. He screamed at me like a deranged knight defending his damsel. Just as he was about to shove past me and run, I calmly spoke. Enoch, did you really think I dated you because I loved you? He stopped in his tracks. His whole body tensed as he turned to face me. You already knew the guy I liked moved abroad after college. I only said yes to you for 2 reasons, 1, to help myself move on, and 2. I smiled and pointed at his nose. You have a small mole right here. Just like him. But a stand-in will always be a stand-in. You'll never compare to the real thing. After Tiffany's public disaster, the website's original plan to boost her personal brand and gain traffic completely backfired. Instead, they were bombarded with criticism and backlash. People started digging up the old dispute between Tiffany and me, directly calling out the website. Viola has been writing for years, and every single book made the bestseller list. When she was accused of plagiarism, I was already suspicious. It was only because the site backed Tiffany so hard that we gave her the benefit of the doubt. Tiffany's speech at the meet and greet was completely incoherent. The only part she managed to answer was about her secret crush, but how do we know that wasn't a rehearsed script? I saw an article she posted recently and deleted almost right after. It read like something written by a middle schooler. Maybe that's her real level? Never seen a site so blind to right and wrong just for clout. Give us our money back. You people are unbelievable, pushing out a veteran author for a plagiarist? You deserve everything coming to you. The only way to prove Tiffany's innocence now is to have her write something on the spot. If she can't, then she's a fraud. But Tiffany had always planned to ride the popularity of this book to pivot into being a full-time influencer. She never put in any real work. Her social media was flooded with filtered selfies, she cared way more about compliments on her looks than her writing. The website finally realized the mess they were in, but it was too late. Their reputation was already in free fall, and the backlash hit hard. The boss, furious, immediately fired Wallace and started dragging Tiffany to social events, begging people for help. Word is, Tiffany was dressed up like a butterfly, and honestly, I won't even try to explain what that meant. The site was just trying to make one last desperate move. Everyone in S-City knew my mom's connections, and she had already told her friends to steer clear of them. And today, as luck would have it, the person the website boss turned to for help was none other than my mom. When she showed me the invitation he sent, I almost laughed out loud. Sweetheart, I think this game's gone on long enough. How about I just reject him and call our lawyer? I stopped her with a smile. It's fine, Mom. Just tell him Tiffany can attend this dinner. I haven't had a proper chat with her in ages. A few days later, Tiffany showed up at the restaurant dressed to impress, and Enoch came along as her assistant. I was heading toward the private room when I heard someone shout from afar. Viola? Enoch rushed up and grabbed my arm. Why the hell are you haunting us again? What are you doing here? His grip hurt, so I smacked his hand away without hesitation. Get your filthy hand off me. What, is this your restaurant? You think only you're allowed in here? Viola, do you even know how much this place costs? $8,888 per person. You don't belong here. Tiffany completely dropped her act and glared at me with pure hatred. You're nothing but a girl living in cheap rentals. Even your boyfriend doesn't love you. You'll never deserve anything good in life. She kept throwing insults like daggers, thinking they'd cut me down. But I calmly said just one thing. Regardless, I'm here today as a guest. What about you? Were you invited, too? You. Tiffany choked on her words, visibly shaken. Her chest rose and fell as she forced a smirk and regained composure. A guest? What, did you become some sugar daddy's side piece in S-City? Is that how you got in here? Do you even know who I'm meeting today? Ms. Zana. Look her up if you're clueless. I doubt your little sugar daddy even holds a candle to her. Enoch quickly joined in, backing her up. Exactly. Viola, don't get ahead of yourself. Once they're done using you, you'll be tossed aside. Just wait. I stared at him expressionlessly. Every single word Enoch said today, I remembered it all. I was going to make sure he didn't leave here standing. And then the moment came that left both of them speechless. My mom stormed into the restaurant with several assistants trailing behind. Ms. Zana. I'm Tiffany. It's an honor to meet you. Tiffany rushed over with a flattering smile, trying to introduce herself. But my mom didn't even glance at her. She walked straight to me, took my hand in hers, and gently rubbed it, her voice soft and warm. Are you cold? Why are you still standing by the door? Go in and order. Isn't this your favorite place? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Tiffany's face go stiff. Ms. Zana, I mimicked Tiffany's tone on purpose. Why don't you head in first? I'll be right there. My mom understood immediately. She nodded and, before heading upstairs, signaled for 2 bodyguards to stay by my side. What the hell is going on? Tiffany whispered to Enoch. Why does she look so close to Zana? Don't tell me. Zana is her mom? Enoch frowned and quickly denied it. No way. Look at Viola. Does she look like the daughter of someone that rich? I've heard some rich ladies have twisted tastes, maybe Zana just likes them young. Before he could finish, I gave the guards a look. They instantly dragged him aside to have a word. What are you doing? It's the middle of the day. You can't just assault someone like this. I'm calling the cops. Help. Somebody help me. Enoch screamed as they pulled him away, his voice trembling with fear. I'm supposed to meet someone important. If you touch me, she won't let you off the hook. But the trained bodyguards didn't flinch. They hit him only where it wouldn't show, with brutal, calculated blows, punishing that filthy mouth of his that loved to spew lies. Soon, blood trickled from the corner of his lips, and he collapsed on the ground like a dead dog. Tiffany took one look at him, then turned away in disgust. To her, he was nothing but a disposable simp. She never cared about him in the slightest. What makes you think you deserve to cling to a rich woman's leg? Viola, I didn't expect this from you. So this is your tactic now? Playing the weak and pitiful card? Just then, seeing my mom appear at the top of the stairs ready to come down, Tiffany quickly grabbed my hand and slapped herself hard across the face. Then she ran toward my mom, crying out loud. Ms. Zana, please help me. Viola not only plagiarized my work, but now she's threatening me and physically attacked me. Please, you have to help me. Tiffany's hysterical cries echoed throughout the entire restaurant. Her hair was a mess, her face pale, it looked incredibly convincing. Anyone watching might have felt the urge to protect her. But before she could even grab my mom's hand, the bodyguards had already stepped in and blocked her without hesitation. She lost her balance and fell straight to the floor. Ms. Zana, please, you have to help me. Viola is completely vicious. She's not as sweet and innocent as she seems. In private, she... Enough. My mom's voice rang out, sharp and commanding. I had never seen her look this terrifying before. She glared at Tiffany, fury boiling in her eyes. So you're Tiffany. Tiffany's breath caught in her throat, but she still tried to salvage the moment, her voice trembling. Yes, ma'am. Please don't believe everything you read online. I was framed. My mom let out a cold laugh. Do you even know what Viola means to me? Tiffany's expression froze. At that moment, the website's boss appeared at the hotel entrance. He was clearly in a panic, drenched in sweat and trembling all over. He stumbled inside, his voice shaking, almost like he was about to cry. I'm so sorry, Ms. Zana. I had no idea Viola was your daughter. This was all our fault. That day ended with the boss threatening Tiffany with a massive breach penalty, forcing her to kneel and apologize to me. Tiffany was furious, but the boss didn't care, he shoved her head down to the floor. So it was you, you little snake. I was wondering how Viola, one of our top authors, could get dragged into this mess. He gritted his teeth, his eyes darting wildly as he snapped. You shameless thing. Can't write anything decent yourself, so you just steal from others? I trusted you, I was such a fool. We all got played by you. His rage only grew. He grabbed Tiffany by the hair and slapped her twice across the face. Her cheek instantly swelled, and she broke down in sobs. He cursed through clenched teeth. "You've got some nerve to cry now. Can't even own up to what you did? You've dragged our entire site's reputation through the mud. Who's going to invest in us now? You're nothing but a rotten apple that spoiled the whole barrel. If you can't handle real writing, you shouldn't have taken on the job, and then you went and framed someone else? I must have been blind to work with someone like you." I stood there with a cold smile, watching them tear each other apart. I hadn't forgotten what Wallace did to me on behalf of the site. If they thought they could just wash their hands of this now, they were dead wrong. "You've got the nerve to show your face here? You'd better post a public apology online, right now." The boss clearly came prepared. He already had a statement drafted and forced Tiffany to post it on social media. In it, she admitted to plagiarism and issued a public apology to me. The moment it went live, the internet exploded. Now that the rumors were confirmed, the public reacted with both anger and regret. Fans who once supported me poured into the forums, sobbing as they recalled the days when they first started reading my stories. Viola was amazing. She posted 3 chapters a day without fail, no matter the weather. I was just in elementary school back then. Now I'm about to graduate high school. I read every book she wrote. I never believed she'd plagiarize or use ghostwriters. "Viola, please come back." The boss handed his phone to my mom like it was a peace offering, hoping she'd let this go and maybe even help him turn things around. But my mom saw straight through him. She gave him a cold, emotionless reply. "We've already prepared the evidence. Your website and this girl, get ready to face a lawsuit." Not only was Tiffany completely disgraced, but Enoch and my story was also dug up and shared by fans. It turned out Enoch had been chasing Tiffany for years, willing to do anything for the woman he idolized. He had been one of the masterminds behind the plagiarism setup. Everything I'd suffered in my past life, the online hate, the doxing, came back to hit them twice as hard. They'd posted too much and left too many clues. Hackers quickly uncovered their personal info and locations. Enoch, who had been hospitalized, was suddenly visited every day by angry netizens using all kinds of methods. He couldn't take it and checked himself out early. He finally realized that being tied to Tiffany would get him nothing but ruin. He even tried to contact me a few times, hoping to reconcile. But the internet never gave him the chance to catch his breath. He lost everything, every penny, and eventually fled back to his hometown, sick and defeated. As for Tiffany, her downfall was even worse. She had to deal with lawsuits, massive compensation demands from the site, and relentless public shaming. She quickly began to spiral, mentally and emotionally. One night, after seeing red paint splattered across her apartment door again, she completely broke down and jumped from her building. When the news reached me, I was with my mom, working together to launch a new writing platform. We wanted to give every young, passionate writer a fair and equal chance. A place where everyone could let their imagination run wild, and tell the stories they wanted to tell. A space filled with diversity, honesty, and freedom. That, I believe, is what true creative writing should look like. The end.
This story is exclusively produced by the YouTube channel Love Short Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.